Well, I'm here today at City Hall with Michael Jack. Michael, do you mind telling us what your role is with the City of Winnipeg and how it affects the responsible pet ownership bylaw?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm the city's Chief Corporate Services Officer, and what that means is a number of departments and agencies report up to me. One of those is the Animal Services Agency. So the Chief Operating Officer of that agency, Leland Gordon, reports directly to me. So I've got oversight over that agency.
All right. Now, I believe in regards to the dog attack that occurred outside of in the parking lot of the Capri Motel just at the end of February, we tried to reach out to Animal Services to comment about that, and they were unfortunately unavailable. But you did say that they are going through a sort of compassionate fatigue. Do you mind explaining that a bit more?
Sure. Yeah, that was a really pretty severe incident and involved a number of our officers. Anytime they're involved in something violent, something where there's a really negative outcome, where either humans are being hurt or animals are being hurt or wounded, it's really hard on them. They not only having to deal with that subject matter, but very often dogs who are involved in a bad incident where their activity or their behavior may have been part of the issue. Our staff have to take them into custody. They take them, they kennel them there at Animal Services, and then thereafter are actually caring for these animals that may have been part of something violent. It's really hard. It's emotionally difficult on them. So we do try and give them as much space from that as possible. And because every attack has its own difficulties and challenges for them, we do try and manage that and have them be asked to speak about it as little as possible if we can.
All right. Well, I believe I did ask you about have the number of dog attacks increased or decreased over the years, and you did tell me that they are decreasing. Is there any other advice that you would give to people to help decrease that anymore?
Yeah, I mean, a few things. Acquiring any animal to keep as a pet, but especially we're talking about dogs, I would ask people to think seriously about why they are doing that. What are the reasons behind why they are acquiring the dog? And think seriously about it, and recognize that it is a big commitment, that you're welcoming another member of your family into your home. And if you're not prepared to spend time, if you're not prepared to be thoughtful with that animal, if you're not prepared to treat it properly, if you're not prepared to train it and exercise it, then maybe you should pause and give a second thought to whether or not you're even ready to own an animal. That's something quite different than people who go out and deliberately acquire animals for the purpose of making them aggressive or for the purpose of making them dangerous or treating them like a weapon. I personally have a great deal of revulsion for people who do that. But beyond that, the city absolutely wants to discourage that kind of behavior. Dogs are beautiful, wonderful creatures, and for someone to manipulate their behavior to such negative ends is really something we want to discourage.
All right, well, it's some very, very good insight from Michael Jack. Of course, thank you very much for your time. We really appreciate it. This is Lucas Horinek, RSC TV.